That there is a live stream of Danny Krieger, Larry Lee Lerma, and Ralph standing in at the Rockabilly for the Brian Dean Trio. That's the regular Monday night gig. But Brian busted his knee the other day, so he can't be there. And this is Erica Pustanteni's live stream of it. So who's here? Oh, they're just trash. They're dead. They're gone. I smashed one so badly that it all comes on as a white light and a black hole where the smash hit it. And the other one, the battery seems to have exploded. Or it didn't, the casing's swollen and just isn't working at all. It won't take a charge. So I'm waiting on I'll get another phone delivered tomorrow. So what do you guys want me to talk about tonight? I'm ready to go off. I don't know any of you who are following the close actions against me will know that I've been banned from the Rainbow Gathering 2020 group, thanks to Grace Canis instigating some shit. No telling what James Faricio was doing because I couldn't see him. He had me blocked. But Grace Canis is one of the AM beasts, and she was there starting some shit. And the moderators let it happen, and men came down on me for getting angry. So I'm ready to talk about, I have a few things I got to say about the Rainbow Family living light and the reality of those rainbow gatherings. It's just a front for the dope cartel. It's all about cover. It's all about inhibiting the spiritual aspirations expressed by the Rainbow Family by providing them with mass quantities of drugs and sex slavery. That's what those gatherings are about. That circle's just a front for a big fucking dope and ass operation. It's all it is. It's all it's ever been. Am I seeing? Okay, that's live chat. Cool. So who else is here? What do you guys want me to, I don't really want to go off on that too much. There's a lot of positive shit happening. I have a lot of friends and followers that love what I do. I answer a lot of questions for people because I'm good at finding the answer. So right now I'm just kind of like looking at Facebook, chatting with different people about different things. I've got a couple of, I guess you could call it serious discussions I'm involved in. One let's see what this idiot, last thing I need to see it here. Oh yeah, yeah, it's one of them in a group called Independent Sovereign Palestine and Safe Israel, where the Zionists and Palestinian supporters just have fist slapping dances all day long. My post was, my rabbi taught us that there's a opinion interview from forward.com on the subject of, does Israel have a right to exist, is a trick question. And my post about it was, my rabbi taught us that unless the Zionist state had equal rights for all and was peacefully coexisting with its neighboring states, it had no right to call itself Jewish. Every single international agreement, from the Balfour Declaration to the never ratified partition resolution, stipulated that existing non-Jewish communities were not to be harmed. But the rogue state was built on the rubble of some 500 Palestinian villages. If we go by Hebrew law, they have no right to exist calling themselves a Jewish state, and under international law, they have no right to have displaced any Palestinians to create the state or to continue to displace them without just compensation today. There's no such thing as a member of the rainbow family. See, that's the trick to it. There were a very few number of people who invited the world to come and pray with them in the national forest in Colorado in 1972. And in a circle on the land where they are sitting in a circle discussing it and come to full agreement on it, called consensus. They agreed to do this again, and year after year. And there are no actual, the rainbow family doesn't even really legitimately exist except on the land and from July 1st to July 7th. No, you can't as a resource. You can't. Membership is something that it's non-organization. You can't be a member. It's the independent contributions of interdependently they're in a mutually helpful communal arrangement, building a temporary community once a year and living their lives however they live their lives, wherever they live their lives. The council itself has no official status except on the land, and only that 1 week in July and a few days near Thanksgiving and in June. Otherwise, no, it's just everybody's egos talking about what the rainbow family is and what the gatherings are, yada yada yada. It was all about coming together to pray for world peace and healing on the 4th of July. It's all of us, and to share the fruits of our year's labors with each other in workshops and shit. And that's what it's supposed to be about. But that's what that was always used as cover. I should hope so. I don't have anything but like rumor to go with the sex slaving. There's a whole lot of sexual assault, but actual sex slaving, I have nothing but rumors on that. I'm an eyewitness to the mass drug distribution for the man, because my family in Chicago was running the hash out of Fort Knox in the 90s. So I can testify to. And now that he's dead, I know one of the LSD chemists in Osley's circle. I can talk about that. Uh, but it's always been a cover. You know, that whole stated peace and love and change the world and Rainbow Nation, all that happy horse shit. It's like the people actually putting the gatherings on never took that seriously. The people that were putting the gatherings on, actually making the gatherings happen, were more First Amendment minded. That here was a free assembly celebration. It was more what they were about, and yeah, okay, cool. As far as the tree huggers and chanters went, you know, they were basically there for the party, um, and that's the way it's always been. It's just there was a certain amount of respect between the hardcore party animals of the old school wrecking crew and A campers. People like, no, I'm not going to name names. We'll see who shows up naming names. Because I know these people. I see it with my eyes. I know what I'm talking about. There's a whole lot of sexual predation. These older brothers will just sweet talk a sister and give her LSD and fuck the shit out of her. Dump her in the morning, leave her with herpes. Been going on all over the country for the last 40 some years. Next question. Otherwise, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back to my feed. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I mean, I'm feeling good. I have plenty of weed, and I don't have anybody like directly in my face right now that I have to be thinking about it all. So if anybody wants to come in my face here, I can handle it without getting upset. But I'm really proud of myself and my performance online lately. Um, and the how do I say this? I've been just like really useful to a lot of people in finding things they wanted to know or showing them things that were breaking that they needed to know. Um, and just the community, the strength of community that's growing among the transgender people with their families involved now. You know, I've been watching, I've been part of that since 1999, and it's the evolution of the trans community online is just incredible, especially the improvement in the overall mental health of the trans kids and adults. Now that we have family support, we have acceptance in our communities, we have stable living conditions where we can safely walk to and from the store in most places, not everywhere. In Białystok, in Poland, last week, let me go get that for you. This is awful. In Poland last week, they were holding their first Pride celebration, and the Archbishop made a statement against it that got the peasants all riled up. There were old women lining the parade route, screaming at these people. It's just sick. Let me get the article for you guys. This is just horrid. And God help us if it ever comes to anything close to this in America. Bad enough in what happened in Detroit. This is just horrendous. In Detroit, nobody got hurt, nobody got busted. And the Nazis all ended up looking like total fucking idiots. And one of them got busted for a gun violation. Białystok was a mess. It was total fucking chaos. You don't understand, autist. I'm against the corruption. You know, I am a rainbow hippie. I'm telling you that the rainbow gatherings, the North American Rainbow Family Tribal Council is corrupted and has always been corrupted, is what I'm saying. I'm I'm still trying. I'm still trying to manifest. You know, I'm on the red road, baby. You know, I'm still on the red road, and you know, there are many people within the gathering that are sincerely still on the red road that are either allowing themselves to be exploited, hoping that they can heal people, or have no idea that the thing is corrupt. So that's what I'm after, the criminals running it, not the whole, you know, the whole. I mean, they're turning it into a dangerous drug cult from behind the, you know, it's like the Wizard of Oz kind of thing. They're pulling there, and it's just sick, and they need to be cleaned out of it. I'm not looking to destroy the rainbow gatherings. I'm looking to destroy the motherfuckers that are corrupting it. This is what I'm trying to do. Here's that thing from Bialystok. It's just awful what happened there. I say I'm going to need a little more light, huh? That's better for now. There aren't many people here, which is cool. Who's this? Who's the other one? Who wants? I said, Shu, are you the other one? And who are you, Shu? Okay, I don't need to see that. Okay, it's quieted down there. There's really nothing in particular I wanted to talk about. Well, getting anybody like can listen to it is the trick. I can't get law enforcement at federal or local level to respond to anything I'm bringing them. Nothing. And I can't find a pro bono attorney who'd put it in front of the judge for me. That's where it's at. And the only reason I haven't filed in all these years, they laugh about it. They call it the lawsuit. The only reason I haven't filed in all these years is I know better than to file in pro se, because I've done it twice and the cases never went anywhere because I got totally fucking trashed by real lawyers. If I have to go in on my own, I'm sending some FOIA requests to the FBI. And when they come back, if I have my own, I'm going in looking for RICO investigation on the rainbows, on kiwi farms, and on AMB. And looking for class status, because there are multiple victims. It's not just me. And appointment of attorney. If I have to do it myself, that's the plan. So I'm sending out some FOIA requests this week. I really should be doing that now instead of streaming. I don't know. I kind of opened it up, and then they sent me a confirmation email. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it right now. Got off into other shit. Feel better. Now I'm bummed. It was looking like it wanted to monsoon, but it didn't. It's been so dry here. At least it hasn't been real hot, which is probably why it's been so dry. It hasn't been hot enough to gather the clouds. Because we live in a no, this is a valley, and the heat in the summer is going like that, and it sucks us up down out of the mountains on us. It's really cool when there's a lot of electricity in it. Whoa, Monty Bird, one of the legitimate rainbow elders, first generation rainbows. They don't like using the word elder. OG, Gen 1, Generation 1, one rainbows. He just posted a gravestone that says, "Here lies the United States of America, born July 4th, 1776, died November 8th, 2016." And the quote on there is, "The people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors are not victims. They are accomplices." And those are the words of George Orwell. Everybody's talking about how people should be reading 1984 again. And really, I think that's not the most accurate depiction of much of anything but authoritarianism and how they stir up the mobs. I think there are other dystopian novels like This Perfect Day and one called The Tomorrow File by Lawrence Sanders, Ira Levin and Lawrence Sanders. So they're more accurate as to what's really going on, what's actually happening, what we're looking at, what we're living inside. But as far as the what's happening in the United States government, I think Animal Farm is what people need to reread right now. Some pigs are more equal than others, and that's what we're witnessing in the White House. Is that we've got a head pig that knows how to curry favor with the lesser pigs and stir up the horses so they make that's what we're looking at. It's the pigs and the horses have taken over. So let's see what else is going on. Since nobody's very talkative and nobody's really here. That's what mostly what I'm looking at it. I'm reading the news, talking to my friends. That's what I do when I'm not outside doing something or inside doing something else. That's an interesting. This is wild shit. Here's I go back to reading the Sovereign. Did I think I read my OP? Yeah. Uh, oh man, there's people got all these cool things going on in places I can't get to. I just got invited to something really cool in upstate New York again. I got some of my closest friends in the whole world are in upstate New York. People that I've known for many, many years. That I partied with in the '90s every summer. I lived up there. I didn't just go to the Woodstock thing. I lived up in South Fallsburg in a park. Did the flea markets on the weekends and hung out at Hector's and shit. It was really cool living. It was only a couple $100 a month, and all summer long I'd have wild blueberries for breakfast. And when they were petering out, the raspberries were coming in. Sometimes if I got there early enough, the strawberries were up. Oh boy, the little bitty sweet ones. I wake up in the morning and there'd be like deer in the camp hanging out. It was way cool. Um, What happened in 1999 was just the thugs got me, and I haven't been to a gathering since. Um, the whatever you want to call them, the people that are the people that are the prominent older first generation people. There are several of them who have been defaming me for years to marginalize my arguments against their policies in the groups. That's how I'm a victim. I'm a victim of fucking idiot Second Amendment nut who's latched onto the family that nobody really wants anything to do with. They got him going at me on the ground, and he got me thrown out of the gym show on bullshit. Cost me a lot of money, but I'm gonna have to sue for that. But and not even him. He's just a low-life scumbag that I'll be lucky if the cops ever even catch up to him to give him the fucking restraining order. I don't let myself be a victim of anything, man. Excuse me. They cut on me before I could say anything about it, and then told me I was something that I wasn't all my life. So there's nothing that anybody has ever brought to me worse than what my family inflicted on me when I was first coming into the world. All right. So I lived through that. I can laugh about it now. And I had a pretty illustrious career on the road. I fed a lot of people. I helped heal a lot of people. I helped a lot of people with their wounds, sheltered people, transported people. So I did nothing shameful in my life, nothing at all, especially not the shit they accused me of. They totally distorted the reality of what happened in Venice and added a lot of bullshit from elsewhere that's like total fiction. I hardly wait to see this new documentary that has some. They managed to find. I think I'm not sure, but it's quite probable. I don't really recall that outfit or the plastic flute, but it's quite possible that was a very low point. I'm not sure. I have to see a documentary. It might be right in the middle of the tent city where I was like fucking emaciated down to about 125 pounds. I don't know. My beard was very short, which means it might be right about the time of my aborted attempt to transition, because I didn't shave ever except that one time. Well, I have to see the documentary. I have to see it to know what I'm looking at. But they're certainly making a bullshit. There is nobody in Venice who would badmouth me. Nobody. There's no legitimate hippie anywhere that would badmouth me. That's so well. I don't care. I'm Tommy. I'm Tommy Teeter. I'm a child of the children of heaven, and I will survive. I will be happy on the last day, because I'm going to be rescued by the masters of this world, the true masters of this world. I know I'm on board. I know 10 righteous people that are on board with me, and hundreds, thousands probably of worthy humans, worthy of salvation, that my eyes have witnessed and transmitted to the Lord. So say what you want about me. The reality is clearly not what they're saying. I don't have COPD. I have chronic sinus and postnatal drip problems is what I got. Is that the cough that I have is something I've lived with all my life, that is worse sometimes because of dust or pollen, and than others. But every day I've had to clear my nose and my throat to some degree. I ain't fucking COPD. Do I look? I look all run down like an old run down dope addict? I'm not. I smoke weed and it's kept me healthy all my life. So what's up with anybody else? I'm like just in a mood, and I don't want to be ranting about. I don't really be going off about random shit. If somebody has specific questions, go for it. Hey Donald, happy day, man. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna be on for a while, I think. I got nothing better to do. I got a nice flow of action with my friends and groups and shit. In my notifications to be looking at, all sorts of cool shit in my news feed to be talking about. You guys are here. It's a Monday night. I got nothing better to do. That's what's happening. This is the Monday night Mambo. I'm just hanging around. Let me see what this legal in our lifetime. I wish I could. October 11th. Where the fuck is Mount Vision? Hartwick at Seagull Lake. That's way north. That's way the fuck north. US 20. That's above. Oh no, it's not. It's still pretty wide fucking north in the middle of the state. I don't know, baby. I wish I could. Like out in the middle of fucking nowhere. In the middle of nowhere, New York. Right in the middle of the state. Off of US 20. I don't think so. I wish. Oh, we'll give it a share. Huh? You all righty? I've been good, I guess. No, I'm in Tucson. I was invited to a festival in New York. I've had a tough time, and I've been too depressed to want to stream at all. I made a few. I'm working on some music videos to put together for a CD that I can sell when I'm on the street. I've got a few clips that I posted, and that's fine. It's like, no, I don't feel like facing these assholes. I just, I don't feel like doing that. Like, I just didn't want to do it. But otherwise, things are, anytime. Mainly, I need help selling my fucking shit. That's what I need. I have some really beautiful shit, and um, I need to meet with El Paso Rock Shop about website and future shows. Repping future shows for them. And I need to like really get my ass together and put some things up on eBay is what I need to do. And push some stuff into groups at Facebook. But I've just been too depressed lately to do much of anything. I come back from the gem show in February and just pile the shit in here, selling half-assed arrange things so I could get in, look through things, and haven't done fucking jack shit since. And here it is, almost August. Now I do have a client that I need to call on in the next week or so downtown. I'll probably stop in on him tomorrow and ask him because it's that time of year where the kids are starting to come back and his business is going to start improving. They don't buy anything in the summer. And I'm working out a consignment deal with the smoke shop, one of the smoke shops downtown. It's going to give me a case to fill, which should be pretty good because I can fill it with nice stuff at good prices that we both can make money on, and people, the people will buy it. I can keep the price low enough, and it's pretty enough stuff that we can both make money. What else? Oh, there's another transgender senior that I may go down the road with. She just bought a school bus, and I think she's an old rubber tramp herself. And she's up in New Mexico right now and talking about like connecting. When she's talking to her friends, it's when she bought the bus, she's talking to a friend and talking about getting out to California soon when she got it going. And I'm like, well, you're gonna stop in Tucson? Oh, for sure. And then I posted something about my 65th birthday coming up, which is November 3rd. I don't really have the tools for that. I'm doing carvings and cabs and designer cabs is what I do. I only have one wheel and one big wheel and a rotary tool to work with. And cutting a bowl is that takes a machine, a multi-head machine to cut like that. I don't do that. No. I'm doing this is here. Let's get more light on it. I don't really want that right in my face. I'm cutting designer cabs. This is some Aguas Calientes fire agate. And this is some Inspiration Mine malachite, chrysocolla, azurite in silica. I like to call it copper agate. And here's one of my carvings, a little guppy I made from lapis lazuli. I have a whole mess of nice specimens right now. Got these malachite slabs. Got this amethyst rose. I got a bunch of different kinds of crystals, big ones. Whole mess of really I got nice black tourmaline crystals in sizes from little bitty ones up to here. And the same thing with what I do with the root heel. Where is the root heel? Oh, here it is. Same thing with root heel quartz. Little bitty ones on up to big ones. Some of it I've got some really like splendid acid grade material, water clear. But I need help selling it. or you know, be really, you know, some motivation in the house, an extra hand, somebody to keep me motivated. It's I get alone and I just like, I get to waiting on God to come and fix things. That's what I do. And you know, I need somebody else in my life to dance with me. I need a dancing partner. I've always performed better with a dancing partner or three. So let's see what else is going on. This is interesting. You know, the idiots are calling me a fake tranny, and I'm a pretty well respected. I'm not, you know, anybody special or real famous or anything like that, but I'm pretty well respected in the Facebook transgender community. I'm friends with a number of prominent parents and prominent authors and journalists that are getting published on MSM platforms like Lexicans. Lot of community organizers like in Alabama, Cassandra Williamson and Rachel Lukey in Los Angeles. I just connected with a cis woman who's a gender therapist. This is some cool shit. This woman is like really a sweetheart and knows her stuff. It's Dr. Z, a gender therapist. I wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for people loving me. I really wouldn't. I have no reason to be alive except to like entertain and educate people. And I get all my vitality from the audience response. It's the only reason I'm still alive is that people always love my shit. My family never could deal with it, but people always love my shit. I'm a nice person trying to tell you. People love me. I wouldn't be able to smile like this, and I wouldn't be able to laugh and have it bring me to tears either if people didn't love me. You know, so, and the kind of people that love. I mean, I'm just so proud to be considered a friend of some of these people. Really, I mean, just, you know, Debbie Jackson, for instance. I don't know, you know, a lot of these other people you won't recognize their names. People like Donna Nassor or Jenny Kastner. Jenny Kastner might. That's Grandma Peep. That's Little Peep's grandma. I've known her since before Little Peep was, before her daughter was even married. I think I'm older than her daughter. But she's the person I went to when she and her late husband Peter's house was where I went to when there was nowhere else to go after I got shot in 1987. But this is real special. This is real special. Both of our children are transgender. And it's on a British platform, and they've been just like terribly transphobic later. Here's this beautiful thing. But unfortunately, the article itself was real respectful and real solid. They're like from Berkeley or something like that. You know, let's see if I can get it to fucking calm down. It's trying to load shit. Both of our children are transgender, and the youngest transitioned at 4. ad trying to load, and I can't. It keeps covering the shit up. The ad's trying to load, and then my ad blocker takes it away, doesn't let it load. Both of our children are transgender, and the youngest transitioned at 4. The parents say people think it must be a copycat situation, but they are dedicated to supporting their kids, showing them acceptance and love. Hello, come on. Yeah. I hate these sites that are load a ton of advertising along with the fucking feed. You know, I just want to see the article. I don't need to see the other crap, guys. A couple has told how both their children are transgender, and the youngest transitioned at just 4 years old. Ben influenced a lot of people copycat situation, but they insist they are not pushing an agenda and simply supporting their kids with acceptance and love. And that's the first shot that they took at the right wingers, the anti-trans people. And they take real neat shots at the anti-trans people all through this whole story. James, 11, was 8 years old when he told his parents he wanted to transition from female to male. Olivia, 7, but didn't begin socially transitioning and using female pronouns until she was 5 years old. The family from Berkeley, California, are sharing their story with the hope of normalizing the narrative surrounding trans children. Do I repeat that for the people in the back? Because this is nuts. You know, the whole argument of the people who are like opposing it is based on conjecture and totally ignores the medical knowledge on the subject, the numerous clinical studies that show conclusively that transgender children who are allowed to be themselves are far less likely to even think about killing themselves. Which is why you're seeing more of them. It's doctors that did this. It was not the parents. It was the kids hurting themselves because they were not allowed to be themselves. That caused the doctors to say, okay, you will not. We won't force this child. We'll let this child act out on it and see where it goes from there. And that's what's going on. It has nothing to do with any fucking left-wing agenda, George Soros, or anything else. The doctors saw that the trans kids were killing themselves when they weren't allowed to be themselves. That's what's happening. And then you're seeing a lot more adults like myself coming out late because we finally realized that hey, it's safe to do this, and look at this, we got happy trans kids now. And look at that brother or that sister doing that shit, like Laverne Cox just got on the cover of Vogue magazine this month. That's why you're seeing more trans adults. You're also going to see more trans people who are like not exactly gender dysphoric and are critically fucked up from being, you know, having a psyche that's not congruent with their genitals. You're going to see more and more people that aren't severely gender dysphoric, transitioning just because they're physically and emotionally better suited for the transgender role. You're going to see a lot of that. That's what the big argument with the gender queers is. It's like, hey, look, I'm much better as a woman, or I'd rather be both. And that's what you're seeing that. Some of us, I was at it. They carved on me. I was talking about it earlier with Dr. Z, where it's like, man, she's talking about the different levels of severity of gender dysphoria. And I'm like, man, every minute of my life, there's this disconnect between what my brain is looking for and what it's feeling down there. There's an awful disconnect. But anyway, moving right along, let's see if there's any new questions. Yeah, well, yeah. we're not close friends. It's more like, professional association. We're both community advocates, and we share information with each other a lot. Her buddy Cappy Blazer, I'm a little closer to. When I met them both, I don't know if you remember, a few years ago there was a child in, she had other serious medical conditions along with her transgender condition. In Chicago, she's like 4 years old, and they took her from the mother in the hospital. And that's when I met Kathy and Debbie. Oh, ROGD is just horseshit. It's just total horseshit. And Littman study's been torn up one side and down the other by numerous people. Numerous people. I mean, yeah, that's garbage. That's total garbage. All of it. Zucker, Blanchard, that whole crowd, they've totally been discredited by professionals. Completely discredited by their peers. It's all pseudoscience. Nobody's buying into it. The autogynephilia, that's garbage. None of the professional associations will buy into that diagnosis. What they're discovering is that I don't know how bad, I don't know. There were a lot of unethical aspects to her data collection, for sure. There was nothing ethical about where her data came from. Well, it definitely didn't deserve publication without getting trashed. That's for sure. And then the anti-trans people, they get hold of that shit and they quote it as if it's gospel. All the old crap from the mid-90s. There was a bunch of crap that McHugh and Zucker and Blanchard, a bunch of them had they there's long-standing argument about homosexuality and transgenderism being pathological conditions. It wasn't until 2014, I think, when the DSM-5 came out, that gender identity disorder had been renamed to gender dysphoria and removed from the psychosexual disorder section of the DSM. Now it's a general medicine condition that often is comorbid with behavioral health issues, and those behavioral health issues are most often caused by outside stresses like rejection from the family, hostility in the community, unemployment, shit like that. It's where they've got gender dysphoria now, and there's huge amount of battling in the community between the people with severe gender dysphoria and the gender queers. They hate each other. They totally fucking hate each other, and they think that the agendas of each one of those factions are damaging to the other faction. Because on the one side, they're trying to depathologize it, and on the other side, they're trying to convince them that there's a medical necessity for the surgery. And the others are trying to, claim body autonomy and say, hey, look, I don't want to have this part and I want it removed, and it's my body, so fuck you. And then it's just a very complex argument. And here I am, monkey in the middle. Like, I see something, boy, I got jumped by some trans men this morning. Yeah, there are a lot of young people, and they're not talking much about it, but there are a lot of mutagens in the food and in the environment. They're turning the frogs gay. There's something to that. I'm very likely. My intersex condition was almost certainly the result of exposure to DES in the womb. That caused a lot of mutations, And I guess there are a number of chemicals that they found that will disrupt the chemical pathways that are being used during the genesis of the genitals. You know, we all start out as females, and then a bunch of chemical shit happens, and our tissues grow in different ways because of that, and that gets fucked up. It gets fucked up a lot. And you know, intersex people, there was a whole array of what they call DSDs. That too used to be called um, disorders of sexual development, and they've changed it to differences to depathologize it. Yeah, it is biochemistry. It's embryology of it. So that there's, you know, you start out as, you know, you're developing, and there's chemical things going on that's genetically controlled, and then, you know, there's nutrients that come into this that affect those chemical processes, and there's some that are disrupting them, making the frogs gay. uh, that's crazy. It's totally crazy, and the amount of lateral hostility in the community and relational bullying is just incredible. I should go back and read these guys. I blew them off. I wasn't going to argue with these guys. These trans men, you know, I went to the international. Let's go back to this thread. This is a good thread to read if you'd be interested in what's going on here. They got real quiet. For all I know, the thread might have gotten taken down because it had two very objectionable language, two objectionable words in it. I'm gonna be pissed if they did. I hate it when they do that and don't warn me. I have one post pending approval. Yeah, it looks like they deleted the thread. Surprised they didn't warn me about it. Yeah, they deleted the thread. I got jumped by some trans men. I wonder if I put that thing on my wall, because it was a good post. They probably put me on. That's what happened. Yeah, they deleted that one and then put me on. Got to approve it. Instead of just warning me, they just approve it. And they say, fuck you guys. I'll just stop posting. I'll take shit from your group. I'll comment in the group, and I'll just stop posting here. That's easy enough. It was. It recently changed over. There was a big shakeup in the WPATH, and a lot of people didn't want anything to do with them anymore. So they changed the name of the group and ran a few people off. You know, and the two people running it, one's an Uber geek. They're both doctors. One's an astrophysicist or some shit like that, and the other one's a clinical psychologist, some shit like that. And they're both uppity. And one of them's like mixed race, very militant, very. But I don't want to go into it. It's just I don't bother about it. I just, you know, it's what it is. There's, like I said, there, you know, there's so much factualization within the transgender community that jargon that's common to one group is highly offensive to another. And in this circumstance, the question revolved around coping with the idea of, this is a non-operative uh, crowd, and it was about, the terms that were offensive were girl dick and mangina, and the question was all about the different kinds of permutations of coupling between trans people and cis people that I was hoping to get a discussion, and all I got was a bunch of whiny trans men bitching about all the shit that's bad in their lives and blaming me for it. And really, oh, and that's why I got them upset. Is I was talking about my own sexuality, and it was just like, I'm my ideal is a trans man, and I'll take a go for a highly masculine woman as a good second choice. And they're like, oh, you see us as the same because of that. And I just, it's like, no, I apologize to all of them for offending them with the, and tried to, then they're like, yeah, and I just kept on, and it kept on escalating. So they must have just finally shut down the thread and removed it. That's why I got quiet. The least they could do is say something. Not that much. Oh, this is a party. One of my neighbors, actual, I can't. No, I can't get it. I can't get it to tag. I'm trying to get. There it is. Oh, that's why I wasn't spelling it right. There we go. He's a vegan chef. Cool old guy. I haven't met him in person, but he's local. He's friends with friends. Oh yeah, it's thought policing for sure. And that they all do that to each other. And then there's the whole shame and blame game in the oppression Olympics. And that's I won't argue with these assholes when I start going there. That's what happened this morning. It's like, you know, my attitude, my whole presentation was problematic to them, and they were being very strident about educating myself and yada yada yada. It's like, no, man, I'm a community organizer for the whole spectrum. I'm one of the advocates of embracing, the celebrating the diversity instead of standing in judgment of each other. And I'm sorry you were offended, but that's the way I feel about it. And I'm me, and I'm speaking for me. And sorry you're offended. Now move on. Your contention is noted. Don't derail the whole thread because of it. Oh my God, there was a shooting on the East Coast too. Holy shit. There were like 4 killed and 11 injured at the Garlic Festival in Gilroy. What's this one? Music Festival in Brooklyn. 1 dead and 11 injured by gunfire Saturday night. Oh, wow. Why? Who was it? What happened there? 2 shooters and 2 guns. Motive is a mystery. Wow. This is a neighborhood music festival. I got too many tabs open. It's bogging my computer down. I need to slow. I need to close it. I sure don't need 3 iterations of it. Well, that's goodbye. Computer, when I'm not streaming, doesn't like to have more than about 10 tabs open at once. It's faster and bigger than the one it replaced. Got a real big surprise last week. So I thought I was going to be able. I thought it was a hardware mainboard failure. I thought it was hardware mainboard failure, and I got me a external drive bay. Drive bay to try and recover what was on the disk. I got thousands of photos on there, and discovered that it had been wiped and partitioned. Okay, what was I doing? I got distracted. Why was I here? I forgot. I was closing down. Let's just get back to closing shit down and looking for. Oh, yes, I got distracted when I emailed. Closing down, looking for. Okay. Probably won't happen. Okay. Well, Robert didn't want to help with the potluck. Okay. So who's here saying anything? Nobody. Anybody got anything you want me to talk about? I should just play a little music. There's nothing going on at Facebook, and there's only a few people here. And oh yeah, that's right. Somebody asked me. That's what I got distracted. Bob Dog wants me to he wants me to unblock him. Okay, Bob Dog, you're unblocked, man. I'm no in the chatter. I probably should. I was gonna go live at Facebook because I got a lot of friends that show up whenever I go live. I usually stream shows live live onto Facebook. Um, I just gave him a link to my channel. That was wrong. I gotta give him a link to the stream. That's better. Okay. Little news feed for now. Yeah, Donald, watch out for idiots like this. Um, Probably should go take a quick peek at another message board. I haven't been there for a week at least. Like I was saying before, they apparently got hold of some film from when I was in Venice. Uh-huh. Huh. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Millennial Turkeys seems to have closed their YouTube account. How about that? Is Milton Nautis still around? You know anything about that, dude? Oh, here's they're claiming. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, here's a post from one of them today. Thomas J. Wasserberg is a man. Thomas J. Wasserberg does not exist. You know, I'm a performance artist, and I'm a very expressive speaker. And I make a lot of funny faces. And what they do is they'll take my words out of context, and they'll find the weirdest expressions that I make, and they'll pull that out and use it all to ridicule me. And really sane, rational, mature people. Um, it's always been this way too. Is that the more people like say bullshit about me, the more that free thinking people come looking to see what the real story is from me directly. And I've made many friends over the years because of these people's fucking jumping my shit in public, and then like somebody will see it and send me a friend request. But as usual, there's nothing of any, you know, why is Tom so rapey lately? These people project their own fucking pedophilia on me. Is he really that excited about trying to sneak into Kid Village at the 2020 gathering that he'll never make it to? It's probably his last hurrah to finger a child before the cold embrace of death by COPD, which I do not have. Hear that? It's always been there. I've always had mucus flow problems. But I also have very strong lungs and heart. My blood pressure's normally about 110 over 70. But I've always had mucus flow issues since I was a little kid. Um, I always have to clear and blow my nose every day. And someday, I mean, on a good day, I still have to blow my nose and clear my throat and shit. Um, on a good day, and a bad day, there's gonna be a lot of dust or pollen in the air, and I can't hardly breathe. I ain't fucking COPD. These people are idiots. Tom is what the dregs of society compare their lives to when they need to get past suicidal depression. This is from a poly. This is from somebody who's what they call it, bareback bottom. This is a bareback bottom saying shit like that. I call him the cock parking lot. The truck driver that likes to take it up the Hershey Highway. Now, if anything about these guys is true, this is like a major fucking syndicate of drug and sex slavers that are oh, looky here, a fresh 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 incriminating thread talking about owning people in the Tucson Police Department. Well, that fills up fast. Usually that's yeah, this is awful. Ravaging wildfires in the Arctic are so large they can be seen from space. And everything, this planet is spinning. And it's got a fluid surface. Everything on the surface is fluid where you are. It's like you can see this shit from satellite pictures. Here's the link. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, I don't need to be on that site at all. Well, I'm running out of steam. And there's hardly anybody here. That's okay. Yeah, there's nothing going on. I'm running out of. I didn't get a nap today, but that's okay. I didn't really want one. Yeah, there's totally fucking nothing going on. Well, this is interesting. I've been railing about the Democratic candidates having a totally unacceptable position on the Israel-Palestine issue. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, this is from the Middle East Monitor. Bernie Sanders has said he would consider cutting military aid to Israel. In an interview, Sanders was asked whether he would consider using the billions of dollars in military aid from the U.S. to change Israel's behavior, to which he replied, absolutely. Our policy cannot just be pro-Israel, pro-Israel, pro-Israel. It has got to be pro-region, working with all of the people, all of the countries in that area. Sanders also expressed a wish to end the U.S. hawkish approach to foreign policy. That'd be nice, because that's why our country's our country's such a mess, is we're spending all our fucking money on weapons, and then the wars we're fighting don't benefit anybody but the fucking corporations that are fucking our lives up at home. And destroying the planet's ability to support human life. It's not going to kill the planet. Don't be thinking we're killing the planet. The planet, we're pissing the planet off. That's what we're doing. Planet will kill us. That's a fact. You cannot tell me. I'm sorry, you cannot deliver me any kind of rational argument that is going to convince me that the planet ain't going to kill us off. You cannot convince me that we're going to kill all life on this planet, and you can't convince me that the planet's not going to kill us. So the mass of the human population against the planet is so fucking infinitesimal. We couldn't possibly destroy the whole planet. So anyway, back to Bernie. Sanders, a fierce critic of Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and previously referred to his government as right-wing and racist, earning him condemnation from Israeli lawmakers. Hey, well, tough shit. Albert Einstein called Menachem Begin and his Herut party, the Freedom Party, which is a precursor of Likud, and he was Benjamin Netanyahu's fucking mentor. The Albert Einstein called them guys fascist terrorists. Yeah, presidential hopeful has previously opposed increasing military aid to Israel and slammed Israeli policy as apartheid-like. Whoa, that's really pushing the envelope, Bernie. That's really pushing the envelope. Other left-wing Democratic allies, such as Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have also signaled they would push for military aid cuts, saying it was on the table. But then you have Nancy Pelosi and Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and Tulsi Gabbard, all of them on the, you got to get past people like that. And then you got Mitch Spitz. You're not going to get a vote on anything. So he's gone. Anybody saying anything? No. Anybody still here? Yeah. Anybody got anything they want to say? Talk to me. I'm just hanging around tonight. I got nothing in particular I want to talk to. I'm sitting here reading my news. And there's not much there. And my friends aren't online, aren't doing much either. Not doing anything I have to respond to. Well, here's something new from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, an appeal to the world. Let's see what he's got on his mind. This is from July 25th. It's a book review. I don't know what the book. It is with considerable diffidence and not a little humility that I embark on a review of a book written by the Dalai Lama. It's a bit like reviewing God or the Queen. This is a man who spent many hours every day for over 70 years meditating on the human condition, contemplating the complexity and simplicity of the world, seeking out the truth of existence. Who am I to sit in judgment of his conclusions? Given this, it comes as a great relief to discover that this book, the Dalai Lama, reaches exactly the same conclusion I have. That conclusion is stated baldly in the opening paragraph. For thousands of years, violence has been committed and justified in the name of religion. For that reason, I say that in the 21st century, we need a new form of ethics beyond religion. I'm speaking of a secular ethics. Amen to that. Yeah. While there is nothing particularly original in this notion, what is startling is that a recognition of the limitations of religion and valorizing of secular ethics should come from such a prominent religious leader. It would be refreshing if the leaders of other faiths could see beyond the confines of their own religions and work toward finding a basis for common ethics that could bring peace and prosperity to the world. This is always strange to me, is how it could even be this way, because like Dr. Binstock taught us to embrace the otherness, that we're all coming from the same root, and that our moral and ethical standards are all pretty much the same. You know, everybody's got some expression of the golden rule. You're not supposed to kill, you're not supposed to steal. I mean, these things are like universally agreed to. I think that's what Dalai Lama's talking about, secular ethics. But it did those principles did originally arise from religious works. It's just that the religions themselves, the churches, became corrupted when politicians got involved and wanted to raise armies by putting different religions against each other. The the Muslim imperialists and the Judeo-Christian imperialists have been in a state of perpetual warfare for the last 1,500 years. From the time they first made contact, they've been at war. You know, they don't want to they want to be in control. Everybody wants to be in control. This is wonderful. You know, while Trump is going off about Baltimore, here's Jared Kushner, owns a whole mess of like slums in Baltimore. They have hundreds of building violations, code violations against them. Let's see what this is. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, owns Baltimore area housing projects that have racked up hundreds of building code violations. President Donald Trump spent much of this weekend attacking Baltimore Democratic Representative Elijah Cummings, whose district includes much of the Baltimore metropolis. The president called the area a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess where no human being would want to live. What Trump failed to mention was that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, actually owns a number of nearby housing projects that have racked up hundreds of building violations. Kushner, who is a senior White House advisor, maintains ownership of these properties despite his company owned back in November 2017, according to then Baltimore County Executive Kevin Kamenetz. Kushner Companies, Trump's son-in-law's company, accrued all these violations in that calendar year, contrary to the assertions of the Kushner companies that they are in compliance with local laws. Our inspectors identified and cited more than 200 code violations in properties owned by Jared Kushner, Kamenetz said at the time. Repairs were only made after the county threatened to do it already. In 9 instances, we had to carry through with threatened sanctions. We expect all landlords to comply with the code requirements that protect the health and safety of their tenants, even if the landlord's father-in-law is president of the United States. Well, we can cut that off there, and I can go to another something else I should read to you. It's like there's a lot of talk lately. If you watch the Mueller hearing, you will notice that a lot of the Democrats closed with a line about nobody being above the law. And then earlier, somebody made a remark action. He's trying to talk about Israel has the right to defend itself, and I'm talking about, hey, shooting unarmed protesters and these price tag attacks by the settlers ain't exactly self-defense. And so he's like, comes out, well, our people aren't all the most exemplary, and I'm like, yeah, but the problem is that your founding fathers were all fascist terrorists. And as Louis Brandeis warned us, and then I inserted, let me find it. Come on, scroll down to it. And it was the Louis Brandeis dissent to the Olmstead versus United States case, which was the first wiretap conviction that was upheld on appeal. In dissent, in the closing paragraph of his dissent, Brandeis wrote, decency, security, and liberty alike demand that government officials shall be subjected to the same rules of conduct that are commands to the citizen. In a government of laws, existence of the government will be imperiled if it fails to observe the law scrupulously. Our government is the potent, the omnipresent teacher. For good or for ill, it teaches the whole people by its example. Crime is contagious. If the government becomes a lawbreaker, it breeds contempt for the law. It invites every man to become a law unto himself, and invites anarchy. To declare that in the administration of the criminal law, the end justifies the means. To declare that the government may commit crimes in order to secure the conviction of a private criminal would bring terrible retribution. Against that pernicious doctrine, this court should resolutely set its face. So there are two things here that are relevant to today about that statement. One is the government is not above the law. The government needs to be held closer to the law than the people because of the government influencing the people's behavior so much. The government are criminals, so people will be criminals because they just will. And that's what we're seeing. And then we got this maniac in the White House who is like validating the white nationalists and their violence against everybody. The hate crimes against every minority since November 8th has just risen incredibly. There was that was interesting too. Let me find that. Somebody did a gravestone for the United States. Let me find it. and put a George Orwell quote on there. Here lies the United States of America, born July 4th, 1776, died November 8th, 2016. The people that elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, and traitors are not victims, they are accomplices. By George Orwell. Anybody here? Anybody say anything? Hello, green bastard. How are you doing? See if there's anything else interesting going on. If I played with bees growing up, I'm an original gamer. Man, I played with fucking analog pinball machines. This is all digital shit. I played penny pinball. Pennies and dimes to load the pinball machine. Back in the boy, it'd be about the mid-60s. Trans Mafia. Oh boy, here's a general letter from the queer mama bears. Dear teachers, school is starting in a couple of weeks, and I know how hard you work to prepare your classrooms, your curriculum, and yourselves for this overly demanding job. A job with more hats than I can count. Thank you for helping raise our kids into adults, for preparing them for the world more than we do as their parents even. What you do is invaluable. I'm just writing to make a small plea as you enter this new school year. You have an LGBTQ kid in your class. You do. Maybe more than one, maybe more than two. Even if they're only 5 years old, you have an LGBTQ kiddo in your class. In many schools, most curriculums aren't acknowledging their existence in many or any ways. They inherently feel othered by systematically design. They need a safe space. Many don't have a safe space anywhere in their world, not home. So please don't out them to their parents. Not anywhere is safe. It isn't hard to create that space for them. A rainbow sticker on your employment ID or your bulletin board on your laptop is even enough. If they're younger, ensuring your lesson have some sort of diversity, as simple as showing that some kinds of kids have two moms or two dads, or maybe normalizing asking pronouns is sufficient. It's quite easy. As trans women of color are being murdered at alarming rates, as suicidality of trans youth is off the charts, as homelessness amongst LGBTQ youth rises, as dropout rates for LGBTQ could soar, please be their person. They need a person. This is a lonely world for them. It's quite easy for you to be inclusive in a world that makes it hard for them to excel. Let them be themselves with you, within your four walls. They'll thrive academically. You will be forever be an important person to them. You'll save a life, many lives, I promise. And take care of you this year. Thank you for all you do. Signed, Affirming Mama Bears Everywhere. P.S. Check out Welcoming Schools for great info. Huh? I guess we're not friends anymore, huh? I'll have to check my friends list for that one. This is so, Facebook friends is so weird. This is so weird. friends 1 minute, and then the next thing you know, they disappear. And they never say why. It's really weird when it's somebody that like is in your local circle, your hometown circle, that you know on the street does it. A model pretended she was trans to avoid being called transphobic. And Representative Schiff warns a failed impeachment fight could set wrong precedent. This is true, and the impeachment has failed twice so far. Mm-mm. Oh, that's not a real good idea. Okay, well, not much happening anywhere, and I feel like the need to pee. So I'm gonna thank you guys who came for coming, and happy day. Bye.